Make sure you guys go check out our Twitter at @complete_MMA for the up-to-date and latest tweets that we've been coming out with. We also have been starting our own fan community page, MMA Complete Accumulation, where you get a chance to actually come and correspond with us and have a good time. Let us know what your opinions are. Maybe you guys will actually be able to get on the podcast with your opinions. And overall, just have a great time talking about everything MMA, Twitter, and UFC. So come check us out again at complete_MMA, and let's get right to the show. Boom, we're live. What's going on, boys?
Not much.
Sorry to interrupt your little game here. I don't know who's winning.
No, Steve.
Word.
I'm going to come back.
All right, cool. So we are 2 days away from UFC Vegas 68, and we are 9 days away from UFC 284. So that's going to take up the dominant amount of our show today. But we are going to be making our picks for UFC Vegas 68, and you guys and I are not really looking forward to this fight night. It's really not that great. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be in Korea, and that guy ended up getting kiboshed because Korean Zombie had to pull out of his fight.
We were going to go.
And so this fight night really ended up, there was a lot of filler fights. There's some good fights on here.
He's focusing on this game still.
Just looking.
There's some fights on this card that still have some merit to it, but overall, there's only like 3 or 4 fights on this fight card that are worth note at all. So we're going to get into that. We're going to make our picks. Should only take up like half the show. It's going to be one of our quicker picks. And we're going to get into more exciting news because there have been some other shit that's been happening today.
Well,
so how you guys doing today? What's going on?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just chilling.
You really like that bat, don't you?
I like it, dude.
Yeah.
Why can't I hold? Why? What's the problem?
Nothing. I'm making an observation.
Yeah. Don't look at me wrong. Don't.
You better not hit me with my own bat.
Don't say something I don't like.
Bro, you can't hit me with that. That has my name on it. That's my property.
Just watch the fuck out.
Yeah.
Watch the fuck out.
That's the mood that you're setting today?
Oh, I'm setting it.
You're
I'm setting the
fucking
precedent.
visceral, huh?
Oh, I'm setting the precedent. I'm
Shit.
hostile.
Austin means fucking business today. That must mean that he's
Yes,
going to go 12 for 12 on picks. That's what that must mean. Super confident. Confidence at an all-time high.
The bar is low.
Right. All right, so we're going to hop right into it. You guys ready?
They're up.
All right. So the first fight that we have coming in, UFC Vegas 68 will be presented in Las Vegas this week on ESPN+. So go check that out. Main evented by Derek Lewis versus Sergey Spivak. We will get to that main event in a moment. But the first fight of the card is Tatsuro Taira versus Jesus Aguilar in a flyweight fight. Now, I told you guys this the other day. I don't know if you know who this is, but Tatsuro Taira is 23 years old. He's a phenom in the flyweight division. It's like Tatsuro Taira and Muhammad Makayev are the two fucking prospects in the flyweight division. Like, they will be the next Figueiredo Moreno in 5 years. I'm calling it right now. Taira versus Makayev. So this guy, Tatsuro Taira, he also has a 7.5-inch reach advantage.
Picking him.
Yeah, this is the fucking lock of the day. He's
Coming
12-0.
Minus 1,200.
23-0. Minus 1,200. So,
Wow.
yeah. I don't know if you guys, I'm booking that for myself.
Anybody else want to fade him? Because I definitely sure don't.
What are we saying for, who is it? Who's he fighting? Aguilar, did I say?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Aguilar's number? Plus 900?
750.
Plus 750.
Yeah, that's a fade.
What are you saying right there? What are you saying? You taking the fade? You taking the underdog? What are you doing?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm going to pick
Steve's
Tyra.
taking the underdog.
Oh, definitely. No.
Tatsuro Taira, that's going to be the easiest pick we make all day. I'm just letting you guys know that right now. There is, a decent amount of fights, but that's the fucking one. Coming up next, we have Park Jung-yang versus Dennis Tululin. This is a decent fight. You guys heard of either of these guys?
No,
I have not.
I'm not.
All right, both of these guys are UFC vets. They've been in the UFC for probably 5 or 6 fights now. I wouldn't say they're like in the 20 range for the middleweight division, but they're somewhere between 20 and 30. Both fighters have had a lot of experience. Tululin is 3 inches taller, has a 4-inch reach advantage. Let me see. Park has won his last 2 fights against Joseph Holmes and Eric Anders. He's actually 4 for 5, and his only loss is against Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop. So that's a decent little resume he has there. And then where's Tululin? And then Tululin is, I made a mistake. He's 1-1 in the UFC. He beat Jamie Pickett, and he lost to Ramzat Kizriev. Still with me? Still with me?
I'm with you.
Okay. So
I tweeted in the community. That's all.
Okay. So you got Tululin with a big reach and height advantage, but only 1-1 in the UFC. And then you got Park, who's been in the UFC a long time. He's won 4 of 5 against pretty good fucking opponents.
Park. Who is? I don't know. I don't even know who this guy is. Never even heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
Is he? Has he been around for a long time?
Yes.
Has he?
Yeah.
Okay.
A long time, like 4 years, 3-4 years.
4 years. Okay. I guess.
But look at this win. Look at these wins he has. He beat Nchukwi. He lost to RoboCop. He beat middleweights.
I kind of like him.
And
I
he's
like Park.
facing a guy 3 inches taller, 4-inch reach advantage.
I don't think that'll matter. I'm gonna go with Park. Straight up, is this a close line? Are the lines close in this fight?
Now we said when the first time that we did this that we weren't going to look at numbers.
Oh, yeah.
It's totally fine
just
too.
curious.
I don't care, but
We don't
I'm just
have to.
asking. Like,
No,
if you
we
guys
don't have
want to
to.
do that, I can pull it up here too. I just didn't.
I
know
was
if
just
we didn't
curious
want to do that.
because the guy does have a 3-inch disadvantage and a 4-inch reach disadvantage.
He's plus 180.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even have him here.
The Tululin. Jung Young Park is minus 220 on ESPN. I don't know
Oh,
how
okay,
accurate that
okay.
is.
On ESPN.
Wow. Jun
So
Young
he's not
Park.
on the
I got
sports book.
Park. Minus 220. Okay.
I mean, I kind of want
Why
to
is
go
this
Park
going down?
too. I almost want to fade him a little bit, but
It can still
What
hear
the-
us talking though. We're still talking. Interesting. So our video is done.
Yeah, our video's done. If you guys can keep talking about Park and Tululin, I can.
Well, Park is winning.
right, I guess I'm gonna have to go with
Tallulah,
Park.
there ain't much going. There ain't much to talk about here.
no.
What division is this, Steve?
The
Middleweight.
only middleweight.
Middleweight division. Okay.
The only thing I worry about is the height and reach.
I mean, if you really can't make a big name for yourself in 4 years, I mean,
He has made not a huge name, but he's made a good name for himself. People know who he is.
you just lost to Robo.
All right, and we're back. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Park as well. I've been looking at these.
Can't
and
do that, buddy.
I
Oh,
do
no,
have.
you can't.
I have been talking
No, I
about this
can't.
fight,
Fuck.
not this fight, but this card for a little bit. And this is another one of my locks that I like. I do like the fact that he is an underdog, and I know that he is. This Tululin guy is like supposed to be. He's kind of coming up, gonna do well, but I like Park. He's been in there with a lot of great competitors, and he has a great chin. And I'm actually putting him as one of my 4 locks of this card because of the fact that there are some fighters on this card that I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
So like, we have like 6 fights to pick our 4 locks from. Like, this is going to be one of my locks. And it's a dangerous one because I don't really love this guy, but I think he's good enough to be my lock.
Yeah, put him in a lock for me.
So
'Cause I was iffy on it, but you doing it makes me reassured. And I mean, I'm not gonna even wink at this card, dude. I'm not even gonna watch like a second of it. So I don't know any of these fighters. Some of them, but most of them, no. Like, it's like very like, I don't know what to go off of here.
Steve, what are you saying?
I will go with Park as well.
Okay.
And I will also put Pyra as my lock as well.
I put locks for all of us on that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. All right, coming up next, we have Jiyeon Kim versus Mandy Bohm. This is the last of the fucking guys that we know. Like, these girls have both been in the UFC for a minute now, women's flyweight division. Jiyeon Kim was the girl, I don't know if you guys remember this, but she didn't get disqualified, but she, like, tried to eye gouge a girl while she was getting rear naked choked and then ended up tapping right away anyway. You guys remember this?
No.
All right, that was huge. That was going in Twitter. It was last year at some point, but she actually bounced back with a win in her last fight. Let me throw up these up here real quick. Where is Yeon Kim? Where the fuck? Okay, so I have Kim. Oh, I made a mistake. She's actually lost her last 3 fights to Alexa Grasso, Molly McCann, and Priscilla Cachoeira. So 3 very good fighters. And she's going up against Mandy Bohm, who is 0-1 in the UFC. So both fighters on a losing streak. Yeon Kim trying to get back on a winning streak. You have only a 1-inch reach advantage for Kim. Same height, same age, same weight. This is a very, I mean, it's not really a big fight. I know we don't really care about it, but it's splitting hairs, to say the least.
9-6, 7-2.
I will say that Yeon Kim is minus 280 on the sports book.
Yeah.
I kind of want to fade.
I'm going to fade her. I'm going to take Mandy Bohm.
You're going Bohm. I'm going to go Kim.
Okay.
I know Kim. She's been in the UFC a lot longer. She's faced better opponents. I'm going to go Kim.
This girl's from Germany. She's seen some shit. That's all I'm saying.
What are you saying, Steve?
Put down Kim. I'll go with Kim.
Okay. And now, boys, comes the luck. Okay, so do you guys know what Road to the UFC is? Have you heard of this?
Nope.
Road to the UFC is a Korean tournament that they had for whatever reason. It was only in Korea, or maybe just Asia, but it was mostly in Korea. And it was like 100 fucking fighters, and they had a tournament for like different weight classes, and the top 8 of that tournament is competing at this card. So like that's the attraction of this. That's why it was in Korea in the first place, because we're having the finals of this. So you got a lightweight, you got a featherweight, you got a bantamweight, and a flyweight final. So I'm going to say some names. I'm going to say some records, and I'm going to say some reach and height numbers, and we're just going to go for it. Austin, you with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Been here.
First, we got Choi Sung-gook versus Park Hyun-sung.
Never heard of any of these guys.
Yeah, these are the guys that you're not going to hear of at all. Just said that.
I think I might just pick Park because I already
Park
picked a guy
is
named Park.
7-0. He has a 2-inch reach advantage. Sung-gook is 6-1. He's a year younger with a 2-inch reach disadvantage. With these numbers, I'm going Hyun-sung. Do I need to throw those numbers up for you? Here, let me throw them up.
Is that Choi or Park?
Park?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Park as well.
Oh, you know what? These are Asian, so they have the fucking first name and last name wrong. That's right. So I'm putting Park, not Hyun-sung. You guys' first name is Hyun-sung. That's tough. What are you guys saying? Are you guys both saying Park with me?
I already said Park. Yeah.
I'm going to say Park.
All right, coming up next. What do we got
Japan
next?
fight. Both from Japan.
Sweet. Toshiomi Kazama versus Rinya Nakamura. And this is very
This guy has
close.
a fucking dope hair, dude. I might just go with him.
Who, Kazama?
Nakamura.
Nakamura. Nakamura is 6-0.
I'm gonna
Some
go with
dope ass
Nakamura,
hair,
too.
dude.
I'm not going to fade that, dude.
Nakamura is. Oh, do we see odds? Do we know odds?
No,
we should probably
there's zero
yeah,
odds.
the
We should
odds.
probably just bet on the fucking people with the best odds.
They're minus 450 for Nakamura.
All right, Nakamura.
Nakamura. What are we saying for the last fight for Park versus Choi?
Yeah, minus 200 for Park.
Okay, so we're basically taking favorites right now.
Kind of.
I'm fine with that.
We got a China versus a South Korean guy.
Who's
This
that?
guy from China has some weird hair too. Not weird, it's dope. It's like leopard hair. It's weird.
Jung Young Lee versus Jia Yi.
Yayi.
Jia
Yayi. Yayi. Ya.
Jia Yi is 21-3 at 26 years old. That's a lot of fucking experience for a 26-year-old. He has a 2-inch. I'm sorry. Jung Young Lee has a 2-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. What are we saying for odds?
Minus 260 for Lee and plus 210 for Ja.
Go with Lee.
You know what? I think this is gonna be my fade Because I like the fact that this guy is 21-3 at 26 years old. 24 fights at 26.
I would honestly, what are the people that he's faced though? You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure that they're tomato fans. I completely believe that. But I just like the fact that he's been in more fights. And I gotta take one underdog here. So I'm gonna go Yi. You guys both going Lee?
I'm going Lee.
Steve?
No, I'm gonna go Ja. Or yeah, Ja too.
Okay.
I'm gonna fade.
So far, me and Steve have picked exactly alike. And then we have the last one. And oh Jesus. All right. I mean, no disrespect by this, and that comment was probably a little overhand, but let's go for this. Jekka Siraji versus Anshul Jubli. I think that was actually pretty harmless. Jubli is 4 inches taller. Everything else is identical. Jubli is 6-0. Siraji is 13-2. And this is on the sportsbook. I saw that. So it's basically a pick'em. Jubilee's minus 115. Siraji's minus 105. So this one's a fucking coin flip.
I'll go Siraji.
I'm going Shiraji as well.
All right, for the boys, yeah, we'll all go Siraji. Now we are going into the fights. These fights we'll know.
Yeah, I know this next guy. I don't know whether to fade people from like around here because the time difference is going to be insane for them.
So Adam Fugit, I don't know, versus Yusaku Kinoshita. Now, this is an interesting matchup because Kinoshita is 22 years old, Fugit 34. But Fugit has a 5.5-inch reach.
I'm going to go with Fugit too.
And Fugit has been in the UFC for a minute. If I pull up these stats real quick, because I do have him on here. Where the fuck is he? Because I'm pretty sure he's had like 1 or 2.
On ESPN, he only has 1 loss in his last like 5, and it's to.
Check that stream. Make sure we're still running. Okay.
So he lost to Michael Morales, who's actually an up-and-comer in the UFC. Like, that's the 22-year-old Colombian
He had a
dude.
knockdown, too, in that
He
fight.
got TKO'd in round 3.
Yep.
So he went a decent amount.
And it was a decent fight. Like, he had a takedown and
He got
close
knocked
to the
down
same
twice.
strikes. Total strikes were decently close. So he didn't have a bad performance. He was 1 of 8 on takedowns. So that's Fugit, yeah. I'm going Fugit. I like the fact that this kid's 22 going against a 34-year-old, but the 5.5 reach advantage and the fact that there really isn't that much experience difference, honestly. I'm going to go with Fugit. Fugit. However the fuck you say it. You guys doing the same, or?
Oh, yeah, I'm going with Fugi.
Yep.
All right, what's next? Anyone? Okay.
Kyle Nelson and Do-Hoo Choi.
Do-Ho Choi is the man. This is the fucking second biggest star in Korea. Do-Ho Choi hasn't been in the UFC in 2 years, I believe. He's making his return. He's fighting Kyle Nelson. Tail of the tape is very similar. Nelson has a slight height advantage and 1-inch reach advantage. I'm going Do-Ho Choi. This guy is the fucking crowd favorite. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He's coming back on a fucking layoff. I think he's going to do well. I'm going Choi. And if I'm not mistaken, he is the favorite. He's minus 190 as well.
I can see Kyle Nelson winning this in a way. Who's he faced?
Nelson?
No.
Choi?
Yeah.
Jourdain. Jeremy Stevens. Charles Jourdain.
You got to remember this guy hasn't fought in 2 years. So.
Yeah.
Wow,
Cub
this gives
Swanson.
leg reach too.
He's fought a lot of decent guys.
He's lost his last 3 fights to Charles Jourdain, Jeremy Stevens, and Cub Swanson.
Yeah, but those are really good fighters, though. No, in
They're-
that division are pretty good.
I'm
I
gonna
mean, yeah,
go with
Stevens and
Kyle. I'm
Swanson
gonna go with
back to
Kyle
back.
Nelson.
Steve, what are you saying?
I'm gonna go with Choi.
Okay. Next, we have a big heavyweight fight in Marcin Tybura versus Blagoy Ivanov. This fight is actually one of the biggest ones. I know Lewis versus Spivak's the biggest one. I would argue that this fight is almost the same as Lewis versus Spivak because you have the number 12 versus the number 10 heavyweight in the world. Marcin Tybura won 4 of his last 5. Spivak won 4 of his last 5. The only person Tybura's lost to is Volkov. The only person Spivak has lost to is Aspinall. So you got 2 really good fighters.
Spivak.
And I'm sorry, not Spivak.
Yeah, his name looks like Bologna.
Ivanov. Excuse me. And you have a similar style as the main event. You have a striker in Tybura versus a wrestler in Ivanov. The only thing is Tybura is a little bit younger and I would say a lot better cardio. Oh, Tybura is actually older. Tybura's 37. I didn't realize that.
You have a 5-inch reach advantage, 4-inch leg reach advantage, which don't really fucking matter. It's not like it's. I'm gonna go with Tybura.
I'm also going to go Tybura.
Just because better cardio. I'm guessing he trains with Wachowicz because he's from Poland. Which Wachowicz does try to go to the ground often, so I guarantee you he's been practicing that. 6'3" versus 5'11". Yeah, I like that pick.
I'm gonna go Ivanov.
You're going to go Ivanov?
Yep, all of his 5 last fights have gone to decision. His only 2 losses are by split decision. I'm not really worried about his cardio. I think he gets it done in decision.
This is the first time me and Steve are fading each other.
You guys met up before this and discussed it.
The co-main event is Da Eun Jung versus Devin Clark. Da Eun Jung has been a personal favorite, dark horse of mine in the light heavyweight division. He has 3.5-inch reach advantage, 3-inch height advantage, 3 years younger than Devin Clark.
I'm gonna choose him.
The last 5 we got for Da Eun Clark, he lost to Mirzakhanov, Ion Cutelaba, and Anthony Smith.
Oh,
He's beaten William Knight and Alonzo Menefield.
He lost to Cutelaba.
Yes. Devin Clark.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I'm definitely fading Devin Clark.
Da Eun Jung tied with Sam Alvey in one of the weirdest fights we've ever seen in the UFC. It was like they didn't come
really
together and then they fought like fucking ape shit for 2 minutes and then they wouldn't come together again. Kept doing that. He also beat William Knight. He beat Kennedy and Zechikwu, and then he lost to Dustin Jacoby. So his only loss is to Dustin Jacoby, who has been on the up and up lately.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with that guy.
He has a height advantage. He has a reach advantage. I've been a big fan of Da
Good
Eun Jung
competition.
for a while. I think that if he wins this fight, he may even be able to get into the rankings. This guy is a hard-hitting 205 or 2.
Minus 245. I like that pick. That's a lock for me.
Yeah,
that is a lock.
That's my 3rd lock.
I said it first. I don't get it.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Jung, and I'm gonna put him down as a lock as well.
All right.
Ooh. Okay.
3-inch reach advantage, 4-inch height advantage.
I am still looking. You still have 2 more locks, by the way. I don't know if you told me one and I didn't write it down.
No, I didn't.
All right. So you got Tyra and Jung so far.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the main event, what are we saying, boys? We know Lewis and Spivak. Lewis has a 1-inch reach advantage. He has a 1-inch height advantage. Spivak only 28 years old. Lewis 37. Spivak is a great wrestler. Lewis has the knockout power. Lewis looks like he's cut about 30 pounds going into this fight, 20 pounds, something like that. I still think, were the weigh-ins, are the weigh-ins tomorrow?
I believe so.
I'm very interested to see where the fuck he weighs in at.
Me too. I like to see what the fighters look like.
I really think that Lewis is going to weigh in at like 255.
I think Lewis is he got into shape because I think he thinks this is going to go to a decision.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So I'm going to take. I would bet on decision.
It is a 5-round fight.
I don't know.
5-round fight.
So I'm looking at this right now.
Looking at, though?
More strikes landed per minute. Spivak is 4. and Lewis is 2.5. I don't know. Take that for a grain of salt. It's something.
Does
Significant
Spivak
strikes is
have the
50-51.
power,
Dude, is
though?
Lewis Spivak isn't even on the fucking bookie anymore.
No, it is not. Really?
Swear to God, it's not even on the bookie anymore.
The bookie sucks.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
this
it
is the
does.
worst bookie, dude. Like no. There's no doubt about that.
Can you imagine if they still had over unders on the parlays, the amount of fucking money we would have made over the last year, or lost maybe?
Or gained and lost.
Right. Maybe it'd be the exact same. We would have just put 30 more bets down.
So
Yeah, they don't
Spivak
have-
does have better defense, but I don't think he's fought as long in the UFC as Derek
No,
Lewis.
definitely not.
I'm gonna go decision Spivak.
That's gonna be odds, right? I'm gonna tell you now.
I know.
I'm guessing
know.
the over under is gonna be like 1.5, maybe 2.5.
I'm also banking on because Lewis is putting in this much training, and I'm kind of using that
Mhm.
to kind of dictate my reasoning for picking decision.
And
Do I think it's going to happen? No, what are the odds on that? We don't know because fucking the bookie sucks. But I would sprinkle on that. That's kind of like that's a dark horse pick right there, and you can make some good money on that because no one's going to expect that to go.
What do you
full
say,
5
Steve?
rounds.
So
Speedbox.
I'm a little worried because of the super bad line shift and because of the way Derek Lewis looks.
There's super bad line shift. There's a shift in lines.
I thought he was the favorite at first. Wasn't
Derek
he?
Lewis was like minus 230.
right
when it opened up.
originally,
Yeah,
and now he's
yeah.
plus 180, isn't he?
Really?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah, he's
why
plus
they.
190 right now on ESPN.
Sergey Spivak is minus 220. What?
So
Those. Oh my god.
that's a huge line shift.
Dude, we talked about that too. Like as soon as it opened up, we were like, "Holy shit, we want to get Spivak plus 190." Just we never did it.
Spivak was he plus 190?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Opened up at plus 190, and now Lewis is plus 190.
So
That makes me kind of want to take Derek Lewis.
I didn't
If
understand
everyone's-
why
if-
he was
yeah, but if-
at fucking minus 230.
Everybody, listen, the common people always wrong, always
I
wrong.
get that. Here's my thing about this fight.
I
I
might
would-
have to bet Derek Lewis.
I would love to take Lewis in this fight because I think he fought some really good people in his last 3 fights. He
Yeah.
got knocked out by really good people. So I would think that he took a little bit more time off. He's getting in shape, like he's doing well. I think that's fine, except the fact that he's facing a wrestler. That's the only thing that worries me. Like I think this guy will take down Lewis. Do you guys know who Alexei Oleinik is?
I was just gonna bring that up, Zach.
Alexei Oleinik he fought Derek Lewis and he took him down and ragdolled him in the first round.
almost submitted him.
And in the second round,
Got saved.
he just got caught in an uppercut, just like Curtis Blades did, and that's why Lewis beat him.
might have been an overhand.
And I
Uppercut
think
don't
Spivak
matter.
is younger than Oleinik because Oleinik was 40 when he fought Derek Lewis, and that he'll be able to keep Lewis down. That's the only reason I think Lewis is going to lose.
I just worry because I just think that with the weight change,
Yep.
like his cardio is going to be better, right? So
Yes.
he's going to
I
be
think he could be
throwing more
faster.
haymakers.
Yeah,
you
but
know
he
what I
could
mean?
his haymakers could be faster.
Yeah, but he might think that too. He might be like, "Oh, now I can throw away more haymakers." He'll do that, and then he'll gas himself out in 3 minutes.
Maybe, but does Spivak have the chin like any of these other people that Lewis has
Who's
been
Spivak
fighting?
fought? Who's
You
Spivak
know what I
fought?
mean? Yeah.
Augusto Sakai was his last fight, knocked him out in 2 minutes. All right. So now that we're back, I
What the
don't know
hell?
how long it's been. We are going to show the picks that we just made for UFC Vegas 68 on your screen right now. So there we go. Me and Steve had very similar picks all the way throughout. And then we switched on Jung and Ivanov. No, excuse me. We switched on Tabura and Ivanov and Lewis and Spivak. And I believe Austin might have had like 2 different ones. So we all have very similar picks. I think we all picked out of the 12. We all have like 9 of the same picks. And then on 3 of the fights are the only ones that changed. It's very
Cut out for
diversive.
5 minutes. Sorry, it just cut out for 5 minutes.
That's not bad. It was basically just the main event. So we were talking about how Lewis has gotten in better shape, but Spivak is a wrestler, and Lewis has been throwing a lot more strikes. Lewis has been on a skid lately, but he's facing Spivak, who doesn't have the best of competition against him. Me and Austin chose Spivak. Steve chose Derek Lewis. Steve also chose Rinne Nakamura as his 4th lock. Me and Austin have the same exact locks. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know the numbers so far this year?
I know it's still very close, but I know
It is
I'm down.
very close.
I know I'm down.
You are in 3rd.
Yep.
You're in 1st.
Damn right.
Damn.
Me and Austin tied the pay-per-view UFC 283 with like 10 of 17, and you got 9 of 17.
Yep.
Austin won the first fight night with. All right. So
Austin's winning.
is at 17 of 28 with 6 for 8 locks. I'm at 16 for 28 with 6 of 8 locks. And Steve's at 15 of 28 with 3 of 4 locks. Because you weren't here for UFC 283, I didn't get your locks.
Yep. No, that's cool.
Winning.
So we're very fucking close. And we now have our 3rd fight event in the books. UFC Vegas 68 coming this weekend live from Apex Arena in Vegas. The start time is 1 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, not specific time. And this is going to be a fight night that no one's going to talk about. No one's going to watch. So right after this is done, we're going to count our picks and move right forward to UFC 284. That's basically going to be it. And we are going to now move on to the next couple things we have to talk about today because, honestly, we don't need to talk about this fight night that much. Unfortunately, we're going to talk about the winners of the last 3 fights. Dawoon Jung, I think, is going to win. The winner of the main event and the winner of Tabura versus Ivanov. Those are going to be the big fights. And then, the guys from the road to the UFC are going to have some special stuff about them, and that's it. Tatsuro Taira also is going to be a big name at some point.
You think there'll be like a not like a commercial, but like a promotional commercial of Tough?
It's going to be either this weekend or UFC 284. They're going to announce who the fighters are.
Well, we
Now.
know it's Connor.
Now, here's something interesting I saw today.
I think it's Tony.
Ali Abdelaziz
Yeah.
tweeted out today that Belal Muhammad, his client, is working with the UFC. The UFC is working for a fight with Belal Muhammad versus Colby Covington. Colby Covington versus Belal Muhammad is in the works, and Ali stated that they want them to coach the Ultimate Fighter.
Next season.
No, he said this season.
Next season.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'll look at the tweet.
Okay. So I just feel like if they were to do it, unless they did an Ultimate Fighter season right after this one, it would be a while. It would be too early to set up the fight. But that would be cool too, because the Connor that was what I was going to talk about, because Connor's basically in it, unless they have abandoned all talks about it because the pay or nobody, whatever happened. But this seemed like maybe the UFC had to throw a fucking Hail Mary because the Connor thing didn't work out, and let's just do Colby versus Belal. But I wanted to get you guys first takes on how a Ultimate Fighter season between Colby Covington and Belal Muhammad would go.
Huh? I'm looking for.
I worry about
Ali's
Belal just
Mhm.
because Colby's got such a very shit-talking personality. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep up with all that, but it's a great fight.
It's a great
It's
fight.
a great fight.
It's a fight I worry about Colby. Because I'm rooting for Colby, but that's a tough matchup for Colby. Because Colby is going to go for takedowns, and Belal's takedown defense is spectacular.
But Colby's got really good stand up too.
Does,
So
yeah,
and
really good stand-up. But Belal's stand-up improved so fucking much. It's crazy how he went and trained with Khabib and his stand-up got even better. Like, that's nuts. He pieced up Sean Brady like nothing. Like nothing. So I worry about that. I think Colby's striking is severely underrated. I've said that for a long time, though. And I think that it's a close fight. What do you think of that fight?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about it?
I just said I think that they're both striking is
Who do you
very.
think's gonna win?
So you got.
Because I think Belal has definitely. I think Belal has a striking advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that striking advantage might have to go to Belal. If Colby can get him down, I think he's able to keep him down because Colby's pressure is just relentless. We haven't seen Belal Muhammad go 5 rounds yet, and I think that this fight, it might be a pay-per-view fight, but I can honestly see this being, if it's the Ultimate Fighter, it's got to be a pay-per-view fight, but I can honestly see this fight being a fucking fight night main event. I could see that. These guys are both big enough to be on a pay-per-view, but I can just see that happening. So if it's a 5-round fight, it's Colby, I think. If it's a 3-round fight, I think either way this goes to a decision. I think either of these guys are finishing the other. But if it's a 3-round fight,
I think Belal could definitely finish Colby. I'm sorry to say.
in a 5-round fight.
In a 5-round
I
fight,
feel like either one of them could finish each other. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know.
it will be the main event if it is this season of Tough.
If it is 5 rounds, I don't think it goes to decision. To be honest with you, I think somebody does get finished.
It's tough for me because when's the last
Colby
time?
doesn't finish people.
Right. And when's the last time Belal finished someone?
Besides
He finished
Brady.
on.
Yeah.
When's the last time Belal got finished? Is what I meant to say. I can't think of the no contest eye poke.
That's probably it.
He got
When's the last
knocked out by
one?
Luque in 2016.
How do you lose to Jeff Neal? Like, that is concerning. Unanimous decision loss to Jeff Neal.
Dude, Jeff Neal's good. People underrate him a lot. Like I'm telling you, the Rachmanov Neal fight, Rachmanov's probably gonna win, but it's closer than people think. Jeff Neal's really good, and he has power.
Someone commented that. I don't know. I'm shocked Mom's gonna win that.
Belal
No,
Muhammad
I'm
was
saying
0
it's-
for 7 for takedowns against Jeff Neal. Wow. That's interesting because Rachmanov's going to go for takedowns. But yeah, I think I think what you said is interesting. I think if this happened on The Ultimate Fighter, Colby would roast the shit out of Belal Muhammad. It wouldn't even be fair.
It wouldn't.
Oh, yeah,
it would be stupid. It would just be like complete.
That's why Connor needs to come on during that Ultimate season so we can see Colby versus Connor on the mics.
Is it possible that it's Connor, Tony, and Colby and Boyle?
Well, they've never done 4 coaches for
I
a
know.
season.
But
I mean, I guess it's
like teams.
Listen, all 4. That's all 4 welterweights. Tony's a lightweight,
Colby
but he
and
could come up
Connor
with welterweight.
and Belal and Tony.
You would have to mix those up because there's no way you can have. Imagine Colby and Connor on the same team talking shit.
That
like,
would
having
be
the time to
awesome.
get- oh my god,
That's
that
what
would be
makes
crazy.
it great. That would make it great,
Dude, that would be awesome. The amount of fucking material we would have.
dude. That's such a dynamic duo. Colby
And not only-
Connor.
Dude, you know what needs to happen? Colby and Connor. Have you ever heard? Has anybody ever talked more shit about Dustin Poirier than Conor McGregor or Colby Covington? It is the 2
Dude, they
biggest
gotta- that
fucking
would be
Poirier
awesome.
haters.
That would be awesome. They both need to be on the same team.
I don't know. I almost
Because
want
it
to
would
see them
be-
against each
It
other.
would be great.
I would love to see them go back and forth with each other.
I want to see.
They probably would go back and forth with each other.
Oh, because both of them play the fucking game.
Yeah.
Both of them know exactly what they're doing. Selling a fight.
But it would be cool to see Colby agree with somebody that all the fans agree with. Like, it would
Mhm.
definitely help.
Kobe
Colby's
would
fan
be
base
talking shit and he'd be the good guy.
in a weird way.
Yeah. He
That
would.
would be that. Yeah, I would love that dynamic. I need to see that.
Kobe Covington versus Conor McGregor.
No.
Can we all agree Kobe would
Oh my
wipe
God,
the
it's not
floor
even
with
close,
Conor?
dude. It's not even close.
I think it's not. Even
Kobe would wipe the floor with Dustin.
I don't know about that.
Oof.
I think that's
Yeah.
very.
Dude,
very
that's
close.
such a good fight.
That's a hot take.
That's such
That's
a
a hot
good
take.
fight.
That's a very hot take.
That's a good one.
Dude, now you know what I'm thinking of now? Dustin versus Khamzat. Oh,
Yeah, Kamaya fucks him up.
So bad. I think so
I don't
too.
know, man. Poirier
You
welterweight
give
now.
him
You're
way too much
saying
credit, dude.
Mhm.
Poirier's really fucking
Way
good.
too much now.
He is
Dude,
really good.
Poirier's
but
only
Khamzat's
lost.
just a whole
Poirier
nother
in the
level,
last like
bro.
7 years has only lost to Khabib and Oliveira. That's 2 really good losses.
Yeah, 2 guys that are good, really good on the ground. Which Kamaev is really, really good on the ground.
really good. On the ground.
So he would fuck him up.
No, you're right. I think that Khamzat is very good on the ground. I don't think he's like the end all fucking be all on the ground. Like I think Khabib's better on the ground. Not that Khabib's
Wow,
better
no
on the ground
shit.
than everybody.
Wow.
I'm just saying
That's
like
a cold take.
I'm just saying like if Khamzat doesn't go to the ground against
You're
Burns,
comparing-
maybe he doesn't go to the ground against Poirier either.
You're comparing him to the 2 greatest of all time.
Yeah, I just said that. Like admittedly, like they're
And
better than
Charles
everybody
Oliveira.
anyway. So
And Charles.
no, I think that if he doesn't go, I don't know. I don't know how I even got on this take anyway. I think, especially if Poirier's going to 170, yeah, Khamzat probably does beat Poirier, but I think that's a great fight. I am a big believer in Poirier.
I would just think
I really
Khamzat
like
is going to weigh
Poirier
so
too,
much
but-
more than Dustin too. Like Dustin's probably going to weigh in like 170, 175, and
If he moves up to
gonna be
welterweight, he
Kamaev's
could
gonna
probably
be
go
like
up to
200, bro.
I don't know.
It's
That's
gonna be
a
like
lot.
190.
That's a lot. 190
Khabib
maybe.
was
190
190
maybe. Yeah.
Khabib
Poirier
was
would probably
190.
be up at 180 though. Like you, Khamzat would be bigger, but he would. I don't think he'd be like 20 pounds, 30 pounds bigger.
Well, you just said Poirier's getting 25 pounds bigger.
Well, yeah. If he goes to 170, I think he would weigh in at like at the time of the fight 180, and then Khamzat would probably be like 190. Probably right.
Khamzat's going to
He's 185. I know. I think that's another part of it. Like I don't know if Khamzat ever comes back down to welterweight.
Kamaev's going to weigh
Sucks.
200. It means if he already has trouble and he does make it. Islam had to lose 10 pounds the day of the fight.
In other
24
news,
hours.
Go check out the Twitter at @complete_MMA, where you can now go vote for round 3 of the fan favorite poll that we have been doing for over the last week and a half. The fan favorite poll for today is the quarterfinal matchups between Conor McGregor, Alexander Volkanovski, Tony Ferguson, Tai Tuivasa, Charles Oliveira, and Justin Gaethje, and Max Holloway and Sean O'Malley. Right now, Volkanovski is beating Conor McGregor with 64%.
Very close.
Tony and Tai Tuivasa are almost tied. Charles Oliveira is smacking Justin Gaethje. And Max Holloway is beating Sean O'Malley. So we got 2 big upsets on the horizon. And if Tai Tuivasa loses, another.
Well, aren't they both 12 and 13?
Yes. But Tai Tuivasa, it's not really an upset, but Tai Tuivasa was, like I said yesterday, my dark horse to win because he was getting 80% of the vote in his first 2 wins. So, like, I thought, oh, maybe this guy's, like, fucking huge kind of thing.
Tony has a huge fan base on Twitter. I don't know if you noticed. A lot of people have their Twitter profile just El Kuke.
El Kukui.
Mm-hmm. The boogeyman.
The boogeyman. Ooh.
So yeah, go check that out. Go vote on it on our Twitter. Also, we have a couple more comments going around today. I asked everybody who their favorite UFC fighter of all time is. I put it down. I put one of mine down, George St. Pierre, because I've stated every chance I get that John Jones is my favorite fighter of all time. So I don't want to say that again. And GSP is another one of them. That's where I came up. That was the era that I fucking started watching UFC. Such a great fucking time. When John Jones was fighting Rampage Jackson and GSP was just fucking, when he fucked up Nick Diaz back in the day, like nothing. When he beat Johnny Hendricks in a very controversial fight that everyone thought Johnny Hendricks should have won. Those are better times in the UFC. Like the UFC now is more, what do you call it? Fan accessible. So it's like cooler to watch. But back then that was like the gritty, nitty-gritty type of shit. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we're going to finish off talking about UFC 284 in the next week. So go check us out on our Twitter at @complete_MMA. Go follow us on our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast, and we'll be right back. All right. Coming up in 9 days' time is UFC 284, pitting off the number 1 and number 2 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski for the lightweight title. Alex Volkanovski attempting to be a champ for the first time in his career. We're also going to see the co-main event, Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett for the interim featherweight title, while Alex Volkanovski is fighting for the lightweight title. We're going to see Jack Della Maddalena versus Randy Brown in a cool welterweight bout to decide if Jack Della Maddalena is for real, because he's one of the biggest prospects in the welterweight division. We also have Jimmy Crute versus Lonzo Menefield in a light heavyweight bout between two very high-ranked light heavyweight stars. I think Jimmy Crute's actually number 13 in the rankings anyway. So we have that going on, and then the last fight in the main card is Justin Taffa versus Parker Porter in a heavyweight fight that no one really cares about. And there's not really much else going on in the card. This card, along with UFC Vegas 68 this weekend, are two very top-heavy cards. Only thing is this pay-per-view's top-heavy is very fucking top-heavy. Like, champ lightweight status, number 1, number 2, pound for pound is very sellable. And then you have Rodriguez versus Emmett for interim featherweight title. That's very sellable too. So two cards that I dare say I mean, I'm not going to watch this weekend because of the time, but this pay-per-view coming up this week, I'm not interested until the main card starts. And to be honest with you, I'm not interested in the first 2 fights of the main card either. I'm only barely interested. I kind of want to see Jimmy Crute, but that's like, I'm only kind of interested in Jack Della Maddalena. Like, only barely. Because this guy's supposed to be a fucking future. He's supposed to be a top 10 welterweight in a year.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I really don't care about anything on that card except for Rodriguez, Emmett, and Volk.
And I'm pretty sure Della Maddalena has a 5-inch reach disadvantage against Randy Brown. So there's that. So UFC 284. What are we saying? You guys like Yair Rodriguez, right?
I do, actually. I just don't think Emmett has the fight ability that Yair does.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like he's just not as good technically, and Yair is just a better striker and is gonna I don't think Yair has much power, but I feel like Yair has enough of a chin where he's gonna be able to get the job done. So
I will say, besides Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez has put up the best fight against Max Holloway over the last couple of years. He was very close fight. It ended up being unanimous for Max Holloway, but it was super close. Yair probably took 2 of the 5 rounds. And no one's even taken a round against Max except for Volkanovski in the last 3 years. So, by the way, Max Holloway versus Arnold Allen for April 15th has been announced. That fight is happening.
I think that's super. I think that's way more interesting than Yair and Emmett.
Yeah, it is. That's the fight that everyone thought should be the fucking interim title.
I mean, it's just a better fight. I feel like it is,
but then, listen, here's the other thing. Max is stuck right now. For Max to get another shot at the title while Volk has it, Max is going to have to win 3 top 5 fights. So he's going to have to beat Arnold Allen, and then the loser of Rodriguez Emmett, and then the other one. The winner of Rodriguez Emmett's going to face Volkanovski, and then Holloway's going to have to face the loser of that, too. So he's got to beat all 3 of those guys, which he could fucking do.
True.
Max is only 30, by the way.
Yep.
Or 31.
He's not old. He's definitely not old.
Mm-mm. But, can you really make a Volkanovski Holloway 4? Can you do that?
Nope. And I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see Holloway winning all those 3. I feel like Arnold Allen is going to be a big test. It's all right, here comes the up-and-comings in the division. Are you going to be able to withstand time with that? Because they're really looking good.
Do you think anybody at featherweight can beat Volk?
I highly doubt it.
The only person I can see possibly being able to beat Volkanovski. Okay, well, listen. Yair Rodriguez is the type of guy that can throw a spinning tornado kick out of nowhere and knock you the fuck out. So it could happen. It's not going to.
It's not going to happen.
I've shouted this from rooftops a year and a half ago. Ilya Tuporia in 2 years could give Volkanovski a run for his money. I truly believe that. Just saying that. But yeah, Rodriguez Emmett doesn't do a whole lot for me except for the fact it's interim title, and I like Yair. Like I want to root for Yair.
I like Yair too. I like Emmett too a little bit, but I like Yair more, and Yair's just exciting.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that it factor, man.
It does. Anything to add?
Yeah, I got Yair Rodriguez.
Nice. And then the main event is the fight that everybody on Twitter today had a blow up about how the Dana White has been talking more about Power Slap than he has about UFC 284. And I kind of agree with it. Number 1 versus number 2 pound for pound. I don't think this has ever happened. I wanted to talk about that at the start of having this conversation. I don't think this has ever happened. Pound for pound number 1 versus pound for pound number 2. I could make an argument, and this is just adding fuel to the fire. I can make an argument that Islam maybe shouldn't even be number 2 pound for pound. You know, it's not really an argument I would like stretch myself for. It's an argument that I don't really care about, but I think I could. He beat Charles Oliveira, who was number 3 pound for pound. Like, I get that. But then again, Alex Pereira beat Adesanya, who was number 2 pound for pound, and he only got moved to number 12.
Yep.
But Islam beats number 3, and he gets moved to number 2. So, you know, there you could make that debate. I don't really care either way, but number 1 versus number 2 pound for pound, in any way you put it, is noteworthy, and it's huge, and we're finally going to get to see it. And Volkanovski is plus 300. Bananas. Does Volkanovski have a chance? Can Volkanovski win?
100%. 100% he has a chance. No doubt in my mind. It's going to be a great fight, but Islam is really, really, really fucking good.
Islam said, now there was a reporter, never heard of, never verified him. There was a reporter that came out with a report today, and everybody picked it up and everybody started talking about it. And I don't know if I believe it necessarily, but he said that Islam wants to prove that he's a great striker and that he's going to try to strike with Volkanovski. How long do you give that? How long is it before Makhachev goes for a takedown?
Not long.
I'm going 2 minutes.
Not long at all. See, here's the thing is that they're going to be up, and I don't think that Makhachev is going to have a good time in the stand-up with Volk.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment he gets touched, that's it. He's just shooting, and he's going to try to put Volk on his back, and it's just going to be a wrestling match for, you know, the next however long it is to see if Volk can keep him up on the feet.
So Makhachev is 4 inches taller than Volkanovski. And that's what Makhachev has said the whole time. The little guy, the small guy. Like, he wants to show that he's so much bigger than Volkanovski and that he can strike with him. But Volkanovski has an inch reach advantage as well. And I don't... Listen, dude. You're Makhachev. You're wrestling. You're going to stick with wrestling. You can say whatever you want. You can say you're going to try to strike with him. You're going to wrestle with him. If Max Holloway can barely fucking scratch this guy, Makhachev's not touching him. He might land one overhand out of nowhere that might make Volkanovski back up. I do not see Makhachev trying to strike with Volkanovski. And he came out and said that today. Came out and said he's going to try it. I don't believe it. I don't fucking buy it. I give it 2 minutes before Makhachev goes for a takedown. I really do. And that's being generous, I think.
If he does stay up on the feet, it's going to be such a bloody war. I feel like, I don't know,
Listen, we know that Volkanovski can take shots.
He's took
not shots
going
from
down.
Matt.
He's not going down.
And we know that Islam has been knocked out before. Been knocked out by a fighter that I don't even remember his name. And it was his first UFC fight. He had the jitters, whatever you want to say. That's fine. Sure, got it. He's gotten way better since then, 100%. I see a whole lot of... Volkanovski, in my opinion, doesn't have as much to lose as Makhachev. And that's crazy, being the fact that Volkanovski's number 1 pound for pound and Makhachev's number 2. But, to me, Makhachev has more to lose here.
You're talking about one of the most dominant champions that we've seen in however long, and he's coming in at plus 300.
I put this question up to Twitter fans at @complete_MMA. I put this question out there to fans. Where's Volkanovski in your all-time rankings right now, before the Makhachev fight? Top 10?
Definitely top 10.
Top 5?
Say top 10.
He's close. I mean, he's on the door. It's on the doorstep, bro.
So this is where I have Volkanovski at number 8 all time. I got Johnny Bones, GSP, Khabib, Amanda Nunes, Mighty Mouse, Shevchenko, Anderson Silva, Volkanovski. So without women, I have Volkanovski at number 6 all time.
And if he wins this next fight, he's no doubt better than Silva.
I am the wrong person to talk about that because my bias towards Anderson Silva is so fucking strong.
But I'm sorry, the double champ thing, man. He's gonna be, if he does manage to pull this off.
Mm-hmm. But look at the names. I want you to also pay attention to the fact that I have Adesanya at 11 and Usman at 12 and Oliveira at 13. I just think it's crazy that there's a lot of fucking fighters right now that are in the top 15 rankings.
It's crazy, but then you look at all of Volk's comp and you look at like how he's continued to keep the belt, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like, he deserves to be right up there.
Max Holloway is an all-time great. He beat Max 3 times. He beat the shit out of Brian Ortega. Beat the piss out of Korean Zombie. Fucked up Jose Aldo. Fucked up Chad Mendez. This dude has been in one close fight against Max Holloway, the second one. That's it. But now he's going up against a guy way bigger than him in a style that is the opposite of what he's used to. This is compelling matchup making, and the UFC's fumbling the bag. I really think they are.
With this awful paper.
That's another point. That is true. The pay-per-view fucking sucks.
I just feel like it's almost like a disservice to them. Like you're
You want to talk about John Jones doesn't get any help from pay-per-views, which I agree with. Volkanovski and Makhachev are getting no fucking help.
Volk gets no help. Even the fight, like the zombie pay-per-view, like that wasn't even a great pay-per-view.
No.
It was such a boring pay-per-view, and then you watch that last fight, and it was not even close. He came out and he absolutely beat the fuck out of Zombie.
In the 4th round,
he's like,
Volkanovski
you
came
sure?
up and was like, yo, you good? Like, are you sure you want to do this?
You all right, bro? You
Like,
sure about
really?
this, bro?
Like, you can quit right now. It's totally fine. No one's going to think any worse of you. It's like, no?
Yeah, bring it.
Mm.
Bow.
Yeah.
Not cool.
All right, so that's going to come in 9 days' time. UFC Vegas 68 is happening this weekend. Start time of the main card is 1 a.m. Eastern time. So have fun with that, everybody watching. We'll see you in the morning. We might do a Twitter Spaces on it in the morning. Sunday Spaces, haven't done that in a minute. So we can actually figure out what happened in that. And we can talk about the picks. That might actually be a fun thing if we did Sunday Spaces to talk about our picks the next day. That'd be cool. But for now, we're going to get out of here, and we are going to get ready for next week in UFC 284. But we have been tweeting like motherfucking monsters over the last week. So go check out our Twitter, @complete_MMA, and look forward to a lot of new things coming. We're trying out some new stuff. We've been looking into new relationships with Twitter communities. We've been looking into new relationships with Twitter pages. We have been trying to get sponsors. We have been looking into video editing YouTube videos. So there's a lot of stuff coming, and make sure you guys join us on this journey. @complete_MMA. And where is it?